Let us see some more points of mutual inductance. There is a solenoid which is carrying current I1. It is of length L1. It has got N1 turns. There is a coil which is wound around it. The coil radius is R2. Number of turns is N2. Now, because when you pass current through the solenoid, it will have its own magnetic field, and that field will influence the flux of the coil too. So there will be a mutual inductance between the coil and the solenoid. This is the coil and this is the solenoid. So the magnetic field of the solenoid will be mu naught N1 by L1. It is mu naught N1 by L1 into I1. Okay. Now this magnetic field, if you see, this is the coil and this is the solenoid. Okay. So this much flux it is going to influence. This other area is not getting influenced. Only the dark portion only is getting influenced. So we have defined mutual inductance as, so which flux is getting influenced? It is the coil. So N2 phi B2 divided by I1. So we need to find phi B2. Phi B2 influence part will be this much. Let us say this is R1 is the radius of the solenoid. So flux is B multiplied by area. So which area? This area, pi R1 square. But B is mu naught N1 by L1 I1. Okay. So M will be equal to N2 mu naught N1 by L1 into I1 whole divided by I1. Okay. And we are missing this pi R1 square. So here I1 gets cancelled. So it becomes mu naught N1 N2 into pi R1 square divided by, and in the denominator there will be L1. So this is the expression to find out mutual inductance of a solenoid and a coil. See here, mutual inductance in 2 because of 1 and mutual inductance in 1 because of current flowing in 2, they are basically equal. But to find the mutual inductance of a solenoid and a coil, this is the easier approach, because we know the exact outside solenoid there is no magnetic field strength. It is very strong inside the solenoid only. So we specifically know what is the area of influence. Okay. So this is the approach that is usually adopted. Okay. Now let us see. When you have inductances, you have a combination of inductance also. Let us see. Like you have a series and parallel, same like your resistance, capacitors. You can also have a number of inductors kept in series. Let us say this is a part of a circuit. This is L1, L2 and L3. This is in series. Let us name these points A, B, C, D. Like in the case of resistor, and let us say this is the direction of current and it is increasing. So there will be a drop everywhere. There will be a drop. It becomes the case of a resistor. It also looks like this only. So here VA minus VB, there it is I into R. Here we know the inductance of the solenoid. So if you know the current, if the current is changing, we will write it as L into di by dt. Note that the current passing through all is same. So next you have between this segment VB minus VC, this is higher potential, this is lower potential. It is here, it will be L1, here it will be L2. This segment VC minus VD is equal to L3 into di by dt. This is equation 1, 2 and 3. If you add all these three, what will happen? This cancels, this cancels, and finally you are left with VA minus VD, which is the potential drop between A to D, equal to V is equal to di by dt is common, so L1 plus L2 plus L3 into di by dt. Can I write this as L effective into di by dt? So for series you need to add the inductance values. So suppose this is 2 Henry, 3 Henry and 4 Henry is given. Your answer will be 2 plus 3, 5 plus 4, 9 Henry if they are connected in series. Because another possible way of doing it is connecting them in parallel. In this situation what happens, let us see. Some arrangement like this, some current is entering, some current is leaving, but here it is getting branched. Let us say here it is L1, L2 and L3. Now if this current is fluctuating, varying, then this value will vary, this value will vary and this value also will vary. So what is common here? If I take a point A and point B, the potential drop in a parallel connection is always same. Let us say VAB is equal to V. Then we know that here what is branching out? I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. All three are varying with respect to time, because if I vary this, everything will vary. So di by dt is equal to di1 by dt, di2 by dt, di3 by dt, because they are flowing in the circuit. So but you know that E is equal to L di by dt. Here E is how much? V. So V L effective into di by dt, can I write? So LE will be equal to V divided by di by dt. Or because here we are writing in terms of di by dt, we can write it as, cross this, di by dt will be equal to V by LE. So I can write di by dt as V by L effective is equal to, this will become same logic, which will become L1, this will become L2 and this will become L3. So 1 by L effective is equal to 1 by L1 plus 1 by L2 plus 1 by L3. If n numbers are there, then it is sum of reciprocals. Once you find that, you get 1 by LE, you need to inverse it. So in the same question, let us say they have given this 2, 1 and 3. So how do we find effective? We simply put 1 by LE is equal to 1 by 2 plus 1 by 1 plus 1 by 3. So this becomes 6, 2 3s, 1 6 and 3 2s. 6 plus 3 9, 9 plus 2 11. 11 by 6 is 1 by LE, or LE is equal to 6 by 11 Henry.